In this video, we're going to review how to play low D. That is a note that is needed to be able to play the green belt, which is frog in the middle. In frog in the middle, we also are introduced to what we call slurs. So we'll cover all of those things in this next video. To play low D, think about starting with the fastest recorder in the West. So everything is covered. And then all you do for low D is to lift your right hand pinky. It will sound like this. Why don't you try that? All right, now that you've had a chance to try that, if your sound came out like this, that means you're blowing too much air through it. If your sound came out like this, you aren't holding all the fingers securely over the keys. Remember, make sure that you're using your finger pads and not your fingertips, and just give a gentle squeeze to cover the holes completely. All right, so low D, I'm going to play a pattern, then you play a pattern. Remember, this takes very little air so that when you play, it comes out nice and low and slow. Here we go. Now, if you have been using hooting instead of tonguing, it might have sounded like this. So just remember, it's always to touch the tongue to the back of your teeth and say that silent. All right, let's go ahead and learn how to play frog in the middle. It requires a slur. A slur is where instead of tonguing each of the notes that you're changing to, all you do is lower or lift a finger to be able to play that note. For instance, if I want to go from E to D, all I do is I tongue E and then I just lay my finger right over the key that makes it D, like this. If I tongued both of those notes, it would sound like this. I'll demonstrate the slur one more time. So that is your slur in frog in the middle. You go from E to D. Now in your music, you are to be playing a slur from E to D on the second measure and the fourth measure. For whatever reason, in the music that I was able to copy off, they also put a slur in the first measure. Now it's not supposed to be there. So if you can remember to not play it, that is best. But since it is there, if you play it, I don't count it against you at all. So this is where it's going to be. You have to be careful of the measures. In the third measure, that it's not exactly the same rhythm as the first measure. And the second measure is not the same as the fourth measure. There's a little difference in the rhythms. So before we start, let's go ahead and sing the song. Frog in the middle, can't get him out. Take a big stick and stir him all about. All right, so that's the name of the song. Now I'm going to go ahead and do one more thing, and if you can, join me on tas and titis. Ta ta. Sorry, one more time. Ta ti ti ta ta, ta ti ti ta ta, ti ti ta ta ta, ti 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 ta ta. Now we're going to chin it. Chi 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 e d, chi 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 e d, chi 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 e d, chi 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 e d. So now we chinned it. The next step will be to play it But before we do that, I want to have you practice going from E to D. So here we go. I'm going to play a pattern of E to D and see if you can repeat after me with the right kind of slurs. All right, now let's go ahead and play it. One of the things that I notice with students sometimes when they go from E to D, once you're starting to play the song, is that if you blow a little bit too much air coming down onto the D, it doesn't sound right. And then the other thing is make sure your fingers are moved in far enough so that finger pad from your ring finger can totally cover both of the little holes that are on that key. All right, let's try it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Frog in the Middle, that is our Greenbelt song. And remember, you can go to Music Play online in the Recorder tab and then select Frog in the Middle, and there will be some accompaniment there, and also you can hear someone else playing the recorder, and that might be able to help you out.